things you must have, that you've seen some of them this morning, is your dog must have prey drive. You must have hunt drive. You must have the play drive with you that you've seen I was showing with the ball. You must have pack drive, which is leadership from you, and you must have retrieve drive. Prey drive is the chasing and catching of an object or an animal and wanting to grab it and shake it and then want to kill it. The more the animal vocalizes, the more your dog will shake his head like a shark or an alligator to kill it until it stops crying or screaming, whatever it might be doing. So one of the things I want you to understand, a lot of people don't know this or don't believe it or whatever, but your dog doesn't know what a ball is. To him, that's prey. Okay, so we're going to look at that as ball. A ball, a rolled up towel, a sleeve, a bite suit, the different things we use in our workout here, to that dog is prey, right here. Okay, hunt drive. Your dog must have the ability to use his nose and hunt for his prey to be successful. Okay, if the dog doesn't have hunt drive, like for our detection dogs, detector dogs, if they don't have hunt drive to hunt for their prey, they don't know what cocaine is, or heroin, or a C4, or det cord, or anything like that. All they know is we teach them that odor to be successful in prey drive. So in prey drive, if the dog is successful finding this, we give him a ball, or we give him a toy that's in prey drive, prey to him, to kill it and shake it and play with it and do the things that he does out of natural instinctual drive to be successful. He must have play drive, so he plays with you, the handler. You are the pack leader. And some of the things I was showing you this morning in obedience exercises with the motivation with the ball was you must show leadership. Leadership is shown not by being mean or being mad. It's shown by having fun with prey items that you see me doing this morning, teaching that dog to focus on you, the leadership, the pack leader, to respond to obedience commands that we want him to do. And he's always looking forward. So if I say sit, in the beginning, the dog sits, he looks at the ball, the dog's excited, boom, the dog and the prey ball goes flying through the air. And the dog gets to go get it. Later on, he might have to sit, he might have to heel, he might have to down, then he gets his prey ball to go do things. So eventually, he never knows when it's coming next. Whether it be going over here and sniffing for odor and finding cocaine, or whether it be going over here and doing obedience with the pack leader and doing downing down, or doing sitting, or doing heeling, or doing down in motion, whatever it might be. Okay, retrieve drive. Dog must have retrieve drive for the prey. Ball, towel, piece of PVC pipe, whatever it might be that we've discovered this dog likes. So the dog must have that retrieve drive too. So I throw it, the dog chases his prey down, he grabs it, he shakes it, he bites on it, and he brings it back and he wants to tug of war with me. Sometimes the dog, as we watched with Ado, what was Ado doing? Running wide away from me out here with his ball in his mouth, wasn't he? Yeah. And I said, here, I'm trying to coax him to come back. Then I went and got another ball and brought it out there to coax him to me. That's what we call that is a sub-drive of prey and retrieve, and that is called booty. Booty drive. Booty drive is the dog says, this is mine, I killed it, I chased it, I killed it, I worked for it, and I don't want to bring it back to my leadership. I want it out here, and I want to play with it, and I want to kill it and everything else. So the dog says, it's mine, pack leader, and I want to keep it. I don't want to give it to you. So we then say, no, we got the leadership role here, and we're not going to kill the drive. We want this drive for our work. And we don't want any avoidance from the dog. In other words, we don't want to make hard corrections or a lot of compulsion to the dog, because we want this dog to work out of motivation and drive. The most important thing that we do in police work is the dog's drive. We want the drive to be there. If I give hard corrections or compulsion to that dog, or start abusing the dog, being unfair, what happens is the drive gets killed. And the dog goes into the big word here, avoidance. And the dog says, I'm avoiding my leader, my pack leader. I don't want to be around him at all, or her, whoever it might be. I only want to go over here and do different things. But I don't want anything to do with that. Because every time I do, my handler kicks my butt for it. He either is hard on me, he either puts the boots to me, or he does hard corrections that are unfair on the collar, or he misuses an e-collar, electronic stimulation collar, remote training collar. All these different things can happen, and so then the dog says, I go into avoidance. And we don't want that. We want everything drive. Everything through drive. Now, this training takes longer. This channeling, when we train through drive, we're channeling this dog and what we want him to do. We're giving him reasons to do different things. We're using his natural instinctual drive, hunt, prey, play, pack, retrieve, booty, all these things, the leadership role from the handler, to go find illegal narcotics. And then we teach him what's called an alert, which can be an aggressive response, or it can be a passive response. Either way, we teach him that in one of them responses, his alert needs to be, if it's passive, it needs to be so focused that the dog is totally focused at where the source is. Source being the actual narcotic itself. We'll make a little picture of that. And he's focused just like this, staring and staring. I can pull back on the leash, the dog doesn't move. I can walk away, the dog doesn't move. That we know without a doubt, my confidence level says there's dope in that refrigerator. Or the aggressive response is so hard with the dog digging and scratching that I can pull back on the line. The dog says, nope, you're not pulling me away from this. This is dope. This is what I've been trained to do. Through prey drive, I've been trained that this is my odor, and I know if I'm successful, the bunny rabbit jumps out of there. Okay? Same thing here. On the passive, excuse me. The passive. The dog thinks the ball, what we call prey, in our training, comes out of this refrigerator. He thinks that bunny rabbit is going to come out of there. Now, I'm going to erase this a little bit and talk about that, what we call bunny blocks. These are very important, alert boxes and bunny boxes. You'll see them this afternoon. Bunny box is basically for passive dogs and aggressive, but I like using it more for passive. And we have a big box here, and I'm not good at drawing pictures. We'll put a little hole in here, and in this box there's a lid and everything else, and a person actually gets in here when we first start the dog, because it's not a big thing. They get in here, but the dog doesn't know that the person is in there. And then right here where this little hole is, we got a big odor of drugs, or if it's the bomb dog, big odor of explosive right there. It comes right out through that hole. So we've taught our dog to sit by our ball. Been out there playing in prey drive. Remember we did the little prey exercises. And so we taught the dog to sit. So the dog knows this. So what I do is we bring in this person, we hide him in here without the dog seeing him. And then we have another person come out here and bounce the ball around, and the dog sees, oh boy, there's prey. Prey's bouncing all over the place. And you act like you run all over the building, act like you're hiding. And that person just runs away. So then, what have I done now? I've kicked in prey drive, hunt drive. Okay, the dog says, oh, my prey hid somewhere, I want to go find it. So we now tell the dog whatever we'll tell it. It doesn't matter. Whether you go say seek, find your gift, whatever it might be. And we bring the dog around real quickly and we let him smell this hole here. The person in this box, the dope is here, the person sits back here, it's very quiet. Even though the dog can smell, we know this, but that's not our point, that's not what we're getting to here. And they have a ball with them as well, sometimes two of them. So we let the dog smell. He smells, of course, not only the person, but what scent picture he's getting at this time is, and we call this a scent picture, very important. The dog is smelling the drug, that odor of that drug, which he doesn't have no idea what it is, it's just an odor. And he's probably smelling the ball that the person has on him in there, and he knows there's somebody in there. So the dog smells it, and we tell the dog, sit. And it's very important that you get right up on the dog, sit. And we put the dog in a sit position. You then will direct by going, you tell the person as the dog is sitting, you say, bunny out. And then we'll take that ball and then barely stick it right up through that hole. And if the dog doesn't pay attention, it'll tap on the little hole a little bit. As soon as the dog looks at it, bunny in. And the dog, this is a natural instinctual drive to the dog. It's like a bunny rabbit hiding in his hole. The dog hunts for him and he hides in his hole, then he peeps out and then he hides back. And so then we say, bunny out. And boom, real slowly the ball comes out again. And the dog looks at it. Bunny in. Bunny goes back in. The dog goes, wow, what's going on? It's going in and out. And if handler, it's important that the handler make sure, sit. This must be very, very stable. The sit must be stable. So next time we say bunny out, bunny comes out, the dog focuses and looks at it, flip it, and they flip it, and the ball comes flipping out of the hole. So what are we talking? We're teaching this dog, you smell this odor, and while you smell this odor, and put your nose down here, all of a sudden this prey object appears and disappears, appears and disappears. We kick in the natural instinctual drive of the dog. That's very important. The dog must have the drive to do police work or do detective work. If we don't have the drive, we're wasting our time. It's not worth it's even messing with it. We need to go find the proper dog for the proper work through selection testing. So, we run the exercise again. We let the dog play with the prey object a little bit, take it away from him, let him watch me right there. Boom, I shove it right back in the hole. The dog's like, oh, I went back in the hole. So I stimulate it again, what? Prey drive, hunt drive, I take him over here a little bit, find it, bring him back. He smells the hole, which in turn he smells the odor there. Smells that. Sit. Dog sit. Bunny out. The object comes out, whether it's a towel, ball, whatever you might be using. Comes out, bunny in, goes in. And you play this little game back and forth. So the dog is totally focused. Bunny out. And he's focused. Each time it'll be seconds. Might be 5 seconds, 6 seconds. And each time it'll get longer and longer. And boom, you flip it. Bam, it comes flying out. So the dog, so where we get this dog when we're done, which will be weeks down the road, but when we're done, if this dog finds the odor that we've taught him, the scent picture here, the dog sits on his own and totally focused by just staring at where source is. Source, which is right here in this particular deal, is the actual drug itself where the odor is coming from. And we teach to this pinpointing. You want the dog to pinpoint the actual odor, which becomes source, which comes out from right here. And you can do that in several different ways. So I'll make a little picture here of it. Get rid of the bunny box. Let's say we got a bank of wall lockers here. And, oh, this is just a wall locker. You actually have a hide up here. This would be source. And in this particular room, just remember scent is heavier in there, unless you've got ceiling fans and different things operating that will blow scent around. You would have scent coming out of that and them louvers down here, and the louvers here that you have in the wall lockers, and like this. So we teach whether it's a passive response or an aggressive response. We teach our dog as he comes down here hunting for his prey, he's hunting, he smells odor here. So the dog smells odor, works it over here. And let's say the dog is working that odor back and forth. Well, as a pack leader, it's your job as leadership. Remember, you are the leader constantly. You are like the law rocket that directs its law rocket to a tank. You're that piece of cable, that wire, that when I aim it at that tank and I pull the button and it shoots, that wire directs it to my target and it's successful. That's your job. So you give this dog the opportunity to find odor by using his nose. He finds it in hot dry. So then you look over here and you go to the right and you get to here and the dog is out of scent. So we went to the right. Now I have a boundary here, don't I? I know that this wall locker here was the last place my dog was in odor. Out here, he's not in odor no more. So now I bring him back to the left. The dog's in odor, and I get to here, and the dog down here is out of odor. So down here, he's out of odor. So now I have boundaries here. That I have what's called source of odor. So I now work my dog in a V pattern. Boom, 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 boom. And to see if the dog didn't pick up anything there, show me alert. Then I crisscross it. And if I don't find it there, I've got a training problem. My dog should now alert, telling me that odor is high. And the alert should either be by aggressive response on this locker or sitting, focused, passive response right there. Telling me where it is. Okay? That's what we call working the pinpoint. The actual source is up here. Does that make sense to you? Any questions?
How do that's I don't know nothing about these
Sure.
trained dogs. How do I know when he's out of scent? How am I gonna?
Okay, behavior changes, what we call behavior changes or response. Okay, we have behavior changes or response. As you work your dog, you're going to watch when your dog is in odor, by his vacuuming of the nose, his tail up, wagging. The vacuuming maybe is going to be more intense, all constantly working as he works right around this area compared to over here. His tail may be wagging because he knows what? This odor we have taught him is what? Successful to him, isn't it? It's very successful through prey drive. So as the dog gets here, we know the dog is in odor, behavior change, behavior response, odor response. And they're all the three words that basically mean the same thing. So we know the dog's in odor. Then the dog gets over here, and now he starts searching again. He's not working in vacuuming his nose like he does in odor here, or wagging his tail, or doing the behavior body English things that you see that he does when he's in odor compared to when he's in out of odor. This is why you come to school. So you learn it, see. You learn, okay, boom, over here, my dog's out of odor, so I know this is a boundary to the left. Work my dog in here, the dog is in odor. Dog even gets up on his hind legs, taking in all the molecules that he's smelling from that odor. Then it gets over here, we get to this line, boom, he's out of odor because he's over here sniffing and hunting again. And he goes to the right, nothing, boom, he comes back, boom, he's in odor. And now I see the vacuuming, I see the body English that the dog displays when he's in odor. So now I know, start seeing the difference, and I can start seeing my dog. One of the things that's important here is remember, when we're right up on top of the dog working here, it's easy for everybody back here to money not quarterback. they can see a lot more than you can, because when you're up here, it's called leash blind. You can't see as much from your dog right here, but people back here can. So what's important, if you see behavior, what I teach my handlers, slacken the line into the leash, back away from your dog, slacken your leash right here, and let him work that, working what? Remember our boundaries? And you just stay behind him. Over here, let him work. You see him out of order, see him in order, out of order. And this, you see, and so you start learning all the different responses. Odor, responses, behavior change that your dog does when he's in odor. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And as we do it this afternoon, then it'll make a lot more sense. But one of the most important things is we're the leader. We must provide to the dog. So if I'm sniffing an area, it's my job. I don't have to hit on things. I don't like handlers that hit on stuff. You just present it. Boop, you present it and your hand moves away. If it's you use the word find or seek or find your gift, whatever you're using, it's a gift. Let the dog sniff, get your hand away. Boom. Let your dog sniff, get your hand away. Boom. Up here, get your hand away. Let him do the work, but you don't want to be dispersing scent all over the place by doing this kind of stuff. Now, if I need to breathe something, let's say like a refrigerator here. Refrigerator is plugged in and operating. If there's dope in it, chances are you will get your alert from behind because of the exhaust fan that blows air out the back. That's where your odor is going to come from. You can breathe objects though that are vacuum or doors, or let's use this for an example. Let's say this is an inhaling door instead of an exhaling door. So anything I put behind this door, inhaling means it comes, the only way we're going to smell it is from behind. Because in the front, it's not exhaling, it's not allowing any odor to come out. But if you come up to something, just go do this, just push on it, you'll breathe it. And that allows it to push the odor out to you for your dog to smell. Luggage. You got luggage, which you'll be working a lot of that. We have in these buildings all over. As you're coming along the luggage, and your dog's not getting odor, you just push down on the top of it. Push down in it. It blows the odor out the keyholes and the seams for your dog to smell. So those are just little hints and stuff for you there. The most important thing is what we're talking about is the leadership, the natural instinctual drive, which is very important, and that's the only way to train dogs. It's their natural instinctual drive training. And that's what we do here. We have alert boxes for aggressive dogs that look similar to this. Same thing we're talking about like on the bunny box with the passive alert dog that you'll see this afternoon. And it's got a piece of wood in the middle, comes like this, a little hole in it. And behind it, behind this piece, this flips out. We put the drug in there, whatever drug it might be. And then this has got a door that's on a string, and it goes up and over the wall. And this door then shuts in front. And in the front, we can put the prey item. The prey item can be PVC, a ball, a towel, whatever it might be. So now I have the drug in there. My set pincher is the odor of the drug and his ball or towel or whatever it might be. And if I'm using towels and stuff, most of the towels I have are sterilized and we scent them in the actual dope. So the towel is a scented object as well. So the dog comes along, the same thing we were doing with the passive alert, smells this, and it's scent picture, and not only does he smell the odor we're teaching him, he connects that into the set picture. He also connects the play toy, the prey item, the ball or the towel, whatever it might be. So the dog will start scratching. And as he's scratching, we're back behind the dog, and we are on this rope, and we pull it, and that door then pops open, and the ball kicks right up into the dog's mouth. The prey item, whatever it might be. Again, towel, ball, PVC, whatever it is. So that we're safe because the drug is protected behind another board with holes in it. So we know the dog gets the odor, but the dog can't get into the drug to harm himself. And this door just goes up, and boom, the item kicks right out right away. And we're not giving this item, the dog's not seeing this, to give this to him. So he thinks in his mind that all his prey items in the very beginning of training, all prey comes from that odor. All the different odors we're teaching. Now another thing is, we know pretty much factual, the dogs can smell 20, 25, even more. They've never haven't determined it yet, that I know of. All different smells at the same time. The dog can go. And if there's hamburgers, marijuana, lima beans, a cooler, Coleman cooler, dirty clothes, galoshes, whatever, the dog knows all them items are there. So what we have to be careful with, and that's one of the reasons we do not stimulate our dogs on the street. If my dog alerts on the street to the trunk of a car, back here, and we open that up and there's 100 pounds of marijuana back there, I don't take my dog back there, or even if he alerts here and I don't know what's there, I don't throw a ball, a prey item, I don't throw a towel, I don't do nothing. I don't need to. The dog hits it, okay? Put the dog up, we find, open it up, and we say, okay, there's 100 pounds. Great. So we do what we need to do, but I take my drugs in, and I know what they are. They've been examined by the lab and everything else. I take my dope later on that day, and I go put a find out somewhere. I let the dog hit it, and then I stimulate my dog, okay? You do not stimulate on the street. Very bad news. And what happens is, remember we talked about scent picture here? You stimulate on the street, everything that's in that trunk that you stimulate for becomes good to that dog. The dog says, oh. So let's say there's a cooler back here, and that cooler's got 100 pounds of marijuana in it and 1 pound sealed packages. But also in that cooler, because these guys are traveling, is hamburgers and sausages and potato chips and pop. Well, if I give him stimulation there, the reward, people call it rewards, I call it stimulation. I give it stimulation to him there, I have taught him that all that is okay. Because that is a scent picture now, isn't it? So as we go through the training, see, we have to eliminate, we have to bring that scent picture down to just that odor. Okay? We've got to be careful about our hands, very careful about when we handle narcotics. You don't want to handle your narcotics and go out here and hide them for your dog and then go around and touch stuff all over the place because you're dispersing odor everywhere. Okay? The person that goes and hides your dope should not be the same person all the time. You need to use numerous people constantly that hide your drugs for you. And you need to have drugs that are street drugs, that are cut with all the different cutting agents that you find in your area that are street drugs. And then you need to have as much possible as pure 100% dope without cutting agents, if you can. It's not always possible. But that's what we try to do. We try to do that right there. Very important. Okay, does that make some sense to you there?
No.
Here's where we get started on. It's a lot of information being thrown at you at once.
Yeah, I understand what the correlation on the street, like, you know, the hamburgers or whatever's in there.
You'll get guys that'll say, God dang it, man, my dog, I'll go do a seminar somewhere and they say, no, I'm having a problem with my dog. This is a true story, just to tell you. And this is what happens to us. We get ourselves in tunnel vision and we don't think about what we're doing. This guy worked for a small department, kind of like yours. And he, all the time, his biggest thing, his sheriff wanted him doing was dog demonstrations. So he would go out every time, of course, in his patrol car, and he'd take marijuana and hide it in his gas cap. I mean, you can see the scratch marks all over his gas cap. That's where it went every time.
Yeah.
Well, what was in the set picture there?
Yeah.
Gasoline as well, right? Well, this dog got to the point that becomes so successful to the dog, getting stimulated there all the time at the little Boy Scout camps and Girl Scout camps they give the dog demonstrations at, in the schools, that when the dog goes street, the dog started hitting every gas cap. Because it was success to him. Even though the odor of marijuana wasn't there, but a part of that scent picture was there. And what was successful to the dog was because this happened. Because the hammer rewarded on the street all the time. In other words, when in their demonstrations, the marijuana was there, the gas was there. All right. Now he goes to the street and he's working a car, and the dog comes to the gas and goes, that other odor isn't there, but this gas. Of course, they don't know it's gas. The dog smells it. That one part of that scent picture's there. Dogs are avid gamblers. So the dog goes scratch, 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 and the hammer goes whoop, and throws the ball because he thinks it's for real. Well, of course, they search, tear everything down, search. There's no dog. But what did the dog learn? Only one part of the scent picture was there. I want my prey. Okay? I want my prey, and I learned if I scratch, I get my prey from the animal. Because the leadership skills were bad from this animal, okay? Nothing against him, just bad leadership, bad training. Hammer didn't understand. So once he learned, at the seminar, we taught him, hey, whoa, let's do this. And we did a bunch of proofing with the dog and showed him prey training. If you prey train, there's no reason for your dog to false alert. There is not a reason whatsoever for him to false alert. Prey training you will get less false alerts. If you don't prey train, if you train and the dog gets to see you throwing the ball all the time or doing this here or doing this and he's caught you, in other words, the dog will become an avid gambler and say, I can gamble and get my leadership, because the leadership isn't good, doesn't know any better, to throw me my prey. So the dog actually starts training you. You see what happens here? So we want to make sure we always prey train, and we never stimulate on the street. We only stimulate when I know I have my drugs there, that I know what it is. Okay? That way I know what I've done with this scent picture. Okay? I haven't allowed anything else to come out in the scent picture. So on the street, even though he found this 100 pounds, which is great, and all these other things were in that scent picture too, he didn't get his prey, did he? And we teach him in training now. As we go through the training, we'll do, let's say I put out 10 fines this afternoon. Let's say the first 2 fines, and you different, you play a game. You got to be a gambler and a good leadership skills with your dog too. So I put one out, the dog gets there, boom, the prey comes out. The bunny rabbit comes out for the dog. The dog's like happy. Go to second fine, the dog's digging and digging and digging. I do what's called resistance to training. I pull back on the line a little bit and then let it back. I pull back a little bit and the dog's like, no man, it's here. And the dog's digging and digging, I let it back. And I just slowly pull him away and move on. Put him right back in the hunt drive. And we're searching again. The dog will search. Boom, comes the next one. Boom, dog's there. Boom, smell it. Yep, this is it. Now he's really digging because I did all this resistance stuff, right? So the dog's digging and digging and digging and digging. Boom, bunny rabbit appears. So he don't know. Maybe out of 10 fines, it appears 4 or 5 times. In the others, it doesn't. The dog should never know. And your dog will never, people go, oh man, the dog didn't get rewarded, so he won't sniff for you no more. That's not true. The dog will sniff for you. With the proper drive, and the drive of the dog, selection test of the dog, it doesn't matter whether he gets that prey or he doesn't. Okay? This is just a training tool we use, natural instinctual drive training tool we use to make this dog learn what we want him to do through motivation. Find this odor, you get these different things at different times, but you don't ever know when it's coming. Okay? Does that make sense to you? He doesn't know. And like we were talking about obedience this morning, same thing. Different times, different things happen through prey. Ball over here, or towel here, or toy here, whatever it might be, these different things happen. And the dog's like, wow, because he doesn't know. Okay? Any other questions? We'll be going over a lot of this stuff in as well. So.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got questions when I think about this later,
Sure.
but right now I can't. I'll be in bed tonight and I'll be trying to take it in.
That's all right. Just write them down, man. Write them down and then we'll go over them. So anyway, this is just your basic narcotic detection or detector class, talking about bunny boxes and alert boxes and your passive response, your aggressive response, and the drives they must have. They must have them drives. If they don't have them drives, we can't utilize them in police service dog. Or for that matter, private industry, it doesn't matter. Whether it's a private industry dog working or a police service dog, it has to be there. Or we're just wasting our time. Okay, good.